So after we study that nectar of instruction, then we come to nectar of devotion. So this nectar of devotion is very, very important for progressing devotees, for advancing devotees, or those who wish to advance in devotional service. Prabhupada translated this nectar of devotion from Srila Rupa Goswami's original text, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So the Sanskrit name of this book is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is written by Srila Rupa Goswami. And as we already discussed little bit introduction about Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction, so I will not repeat that part, but still this book is, as we discussed last time, is one of the best contributions of Srila Rupa Goswami to our practice of sadhana. See, our Vedic knowledge flows in three channels, which is called as Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. Sambandha means relationship. The literal meaning of Sambandha is relationship. So when we start anything, we need to identify relationship. Where we are standing currently, where we need to go, what is our identity, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All these discussions come under the category of Sambandha Gyan. Who are we? Who is Supreme Personality of Godhead? What is our relationship to Him? This knowledge is called Sambandha Gyan. And the Acharya for Sambandha is Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami was specially taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on Sambandha Gyan. If you remember from Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Sanatan Goswami went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked these questions. That, my dear Lord, people consider me as very learned, very intelligent, but I don't know who am I, why I am suffering. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sanatan Goswami on the knowledge of Sambandha. Sambandha Gyan is very, very important to start devotional service, and Sanatan Goswami became the Acharya for Sambandha Gyan, and the deity for Sambandha Gyan is Radha Madan Mohan. So Radha Madan Mohan became the deity for Sambandha Gyan. Then after we realize our identity, our relationship with the Supreme Lord, second step comes what we are expected to do, the devotional service, the practical aspects of devotional service, the process of devotional service. And that is called Abhideya. Abhideya means the process of devotional service. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Srila Rupa Goswami in detail about the practice of devotional service. So Rupa Goswami became Acharya of Abhideya. And his worshipable deity, Sri Radha Govinda, became worshipable deity for Abhideya. So this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu deals with Abhideya. How to practice devotional service. What are mellows? What is rasa? What is different devotees' attitude towards Krishna and different mellows? All those details. What should be done? What should not be done? All these principles are given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Mainly 64 elements of devotional service, which Rupa Goswami suggests for each practitioner of Krishna consciousness. So we will discuss this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Then finally, the third channel is Prayojan. Prayojan means destination. What we want to achieve. What is the fruit of devotional service? What is the result of practice of devotional service? And that Prayojan is love of God. That Prayojan is Prema Pumartha Mahan. love of God. So this love of God was personally experienced by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was in Jagannath Puri. So much so that the last years of his manifested pastimes, he hardly traveled anywhere. He was so absorbed in separation from Krishna. He was so absorbed in separation from Vrindavan. He would cry day and night. That is the perfection of love of Godhead, Vipralamba Bhav. And one Goswami out of 6 Goswamis had good fortune of being with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, witnessing all those ecstasies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That Goswami stayed with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for maximum time. He is Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami is the son of a very, very rich person from Bengal. There's a long story, but somehow he managed to reach Puri and surrender his life to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he had good fortune of staying with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for longest time out of 6 Goswamis. Rup and Sanatan stayed with Mahaprabhu for very limited time. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu guided them and sent them to Vrindavan. Then Gopal Bhatta Goswami came from Sri Rangam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent him to Vrindavan. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami came from Varanasi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also instructed him to go to Vrindavan. And Jiva Goswami came much later, and he also joined Rup and Sanatan in Vrindavan. Because Jiva Goswami was very, very young, like a boy, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present on the planet. So only Goswami who stayed with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, witnessing, seeing personally the ecstasies of love of Godhead in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was Raghunath Das Goswami. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave his personal love to Raghunath Das Goswami. So he became the Acharya for Prayojan, the love of Godhead, the perfection of Krishna consciousness. So after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, after he ended his manifested pastimes, Raghunath Das Goswami could not bear separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So living in Puri was very difficult for him. So he also came to Vrindavan. And he also shifted to Vrindavan and he started staying at Radhakund. And he would, day and night, he would cry in separation because he is the Acharya of Prayojan. So he, from his personal example, he taught what is love of Godhead. But one thing he would do every day, in the evening time, on the bank of Radhakund, he would give lecture on the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because among all devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Vrindavan, he was the only one who stayed with Mahaprabhu for the longest time. So Vrindavan devotees wanted to hear pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Raghunath Das Goswami every day would recite pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Among those devotees who used to hear every day, one devotee came without fail every day to hear from Raghunath Das Goswami. He was Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. He was very old, about 80 years old. And every day he would hear. He could walk with difficulty. He could hardly see. His ears were very weak. He could hardly hear. But he was very enthusiastic to hear pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Raghunath Das Goswami. And when Raghunath Das Goswami left this world, devotees requested Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write these pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for future devotees. So therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charitamrita was written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami when he was over 90 years old. He could hardly see, he could hardly walk, he could hardly hear. And he never saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally. He wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So see the power of hearing. Just by hearing from Raghunath Das Goswami, in that state also, he wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is one of the most authoritative biographies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these three acharyas are the main acharyas of our parampara. Sambandha Acharya is Sanatana Goswami, Abhideya Acharya is Rupa Goswami, and Prayojana Acharya is Raghunath Das Goswami. So Sanatana Goswami's many of the writings like Brihad Bhagavatamrita and other writings mainly deal with identity, like establishing the supremacy of Krishna, establishing supremacy of gopis, establishing supremacy of bhakti. So he mainly deals with Sambandha Gyan. And Rupa Goswami's writings are mainly based on Abhideya, especially Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion, which talk about the process of devotional service. So today we will discuss just the brief overview of this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. As we know, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entrusted his 6 followers to go to Vrindavan and carry on his mission. Out of them, Rup Goswami and Sanatana Goswami were the leaders. So out of the 6 Goswamis, 3 were from same family. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami were brothers, and Jiva Goswami was son of their 3rd brother, Anupam. So Rupa and Sanatana were uncle of Jiva Goswami. So these 3 Goswamis were from same family. Then the 4th one was Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who came from South India. He was son of Venkat Bhatt, whom Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached in Sri Rangam, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at their place. So Gopal Bhatt was a small boy that time, and he got mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, you serve your parents because they are devotees, but when they leave this world, you come to Vrindavan. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami followed that instruction. Same happened with Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was son of Tapan Mishra in Varanasi. And Tapan Mishra was also associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Bhatt, Raghunath, serve your parents as their devotees, but don't marry. So after they leave, you come to Vrindavan. So he also followed that instruction. He served his parents, and when they left, he also joined Goswamis in Vrindavan. So they were the 5 Goswamis, Gopal Bhatta, Raghunath Bhatta, and 3 Goswamis from one family, Rup, Sanatan, and Jeev. And 6th one, as I told, was Raghunath Das Goswami, who joined last. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, he came to Vrindavan. So these are 6 Goswamis we worship, and Srila Prabhupada dedicated this book to these 6 Goswamis. He starts this book with this verse. It's an interesting thing that this is the only verse Prabhupada wrote in the whole book. Generally in Prabhupada books, in each purport you can find some verses. Prabhupada would quote from this Puran, that Upanishad, here, there. But in this book, Prabhupada didn't quote any shloka. It's fully in English. No shloka at all. But only one shloka Prabhupada put in the beginning. You can see before the index, Prabhupada mentions this verse, Nana Shastra Vicharana. This is dedication, Samarpan. He dedicated this book to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So this verse goes like, Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau, Shad Dharma Sansthapakou, Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuvane, Manyav Sharanna Karo, Radha Krishna Padar Binda Bhajana, Nandena Mattaliko, Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo, Sri Jiva Gopalako. This Shad Goswami Ashtakam is written by Srinivas Acharya. Srinivas Acharya came much later when 6 Goswamis also left. After that, the mission was carried forward by 3 star-world preachers, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and Shyamananda Prabhu. I hope not too many names. You must be remembering all these names already. So there are Panchatattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita, Shivas, and Gadadhar. After Panchatattva, the mission was carried by 6 Goswamis: Sri Rupa, Sri Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopal Bhatta, Das Raghunath. And after 6 Goswamis, these 3 Acharyas, Narottam, Srinivas, and Shyamananda Prabhu. So Srinivas Acharya wrote this Ashtakam, 8 verses glorifying Sri Shat Goswami, 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And the verse you are seeing on the screen is second of this Ashtakam, second verse. If you want, you can read that Ashtakam, Shat Goswami Ashtakam. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunam. Nipun means expert. Nana means so many different types. Shastra means scriptures. So Srinivas Acharya is glorifying 6 Goswamis that you were expert in discussing the knowledge of so many scriptures, Puranas, Upanishads, Vedas. And what you did, you took out essence from these scriptures. Because where we have time and energy and qualification to read all these scriptures, there are thousands of verses. Veda Vyas wrote 400,000 verses. Can you imagine? Remembering 50 verses of Bhakti Sastri becomes such a big headache. Can you imagine 400,000 verses? Just Vyasadev wrote. And then there are Upavedangas and different, so many other scriptures where we have time and energy and qualification to read. But Shat Goswamis, they took out essence of the scriptures. And what they did? Sadharma Sansthapaku. They established the true principles of these scriptures. Lokanam Hitakarina, for the benefit of people in general. Lokanam means general people. In simple words, we can say laymen. Those who have no knowledge of scriptures, no interest in spirituality. So Shat Goswamis made spirituality simple for a layman also. Lokanam Hitakarina. You are the real benefactor of general people. Tribhuvane, all over the world, 3 planetary systems. Manyav Sharanna Karo. Whole world can take shelter under your teachings, under your lotus feet. Why? Why you are so special? Because Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mattalikau. You are always absorbed. Mattalikau means, in a way, you are mad in service, in worship, in glorifying the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. So you are personally absorbed in worshipping Sri Sri Radha Krishna, and you have given opportunity to people in general also to worship the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Therefore, one day I worship Rupa Sanatana, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghu Yugo. Yugo means pair. Raghu Yugo means pair of Raghu. There are 2 Raghu. One Raghunath Das Goswami and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Raghu Yugo. Sri Jiva, Jiva Goswami, Gopalakau. Gopalakau means Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So I am worshipping these 6 Goswamis. Namrasita Mataji, can you read this quote?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. They wrote so many books just to establish what is real religion. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipun Sad Dharma Samastapakao. Why? Loknam Hita Karino. They were simply doing welfare activities for the people in general. Lokanam. Formerly, the society was not so much degraded. As soon as you give evidence from the Vedic literature, they would accept. So these Goswamis were making research from the Vedic literature, Samved, Rigved, and Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Puranas, Mahabharat, Srimad Bhagavatam. You will find in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu evidences Nana Shastra, Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.2.
So at the time of 6 Goswamis, the community in Sanatan Dharma, India, were very rigid, when it came to scriptures. So you can't speak anything on your own. You have to quote from the scriptures. So one best thing about Goswami literatures is whenever they wrote anything, they backed it up with references from scriptures. And same style Prabhupada took in his writings. Although Prabhupada was writing for Western world, who have no idea what is Upanishad Puran, but then also Prabhupada made sure that he gave references that, okay, this is written in this Purana, this is written in that Upanishad. So Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuna means you are expert in so many literatures, and Goswamis made teachings very, very practical and presentable to people in general. So that was the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and other literatures also. Actually, they are the collection of quotations from different scriptures. So we can't tell that actually it is Rupa Goswami's speculation. No. He collected different teachings from scriptures and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and compiled this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Nishtha Mataji, please read.
Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Prabhu?
Yes.
Prabhu, but that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had not given any written scriptures, from which scriptures then they refer to?
No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally didn't write, but he taught Rup, Sanatan, other Goswamis, and he told, you write. So one of the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Goswamis was to write literature. So he taught them like 2 months in a row, sometimes 3 weeks, 2 weeks in a row. Just Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not going anywhere, not meeting anywhere. 2 months he's just teaching. And then he told, now you write the books. So Goswamis wrote what they learned from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So which scriptures they refer to? You said they refer to some scriptures also. So before them,
Yes.
where
Vedas, Prabhupada writes here, Samveda, Rigveda, Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Puranas, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam. All these scriptures they referred, and on basis of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, they compiled teachings from these scriptures. So if you go to original Sanskrit text of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Prabhupada translated in English, you will find Rupa Goswami quoting from different scriptures. He compiled it. But Prabhupada made it easier for us. He just translated it into prose form, in text form. Like, okay, you just read like that. But if you want, there are Bhanu Swami Maharaj has compiled that book also, where you can find Sanskrit verses from different scriptures which Rupa Goswami collected in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
So, Prabhu, what I'm trying to ask is that these scriptures, Upanishads and all, they came before the Panchtattva, from the Acharyas who came before the Panchtattva?
These scriptures were always available. These scriptures were there.
The Upanishads and Rigved and all these came from the previous Acharyas,
yes,
the lineage who came before the Panchtattva, right?
See, these scriptures were always available. Problem is with translation. Same verses, if Mayavadi will read, he will interpret differently. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them the proper understanding. Like same Bhagavad Gita, our politicians refer and they put the country in first. Same Bhagavad Gita, Mayavadis, they put Nirakar Brahma is first. Same Bhagavad Gita, some terrorist may also use to say that, oh, Arjuna was told by God to fight, so I am also fighting on behalf of God. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them proper direction. What is the essence of scriptures? Scriptures were there. They are available. Now also if you go to market, you can find all these scriptures. Problem is not with the Sanskrit text. Problem is with interpretation and translations. That is problem. Okay. Yes, Nishtha Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Srila Rupa Goswami is described as Bhakti Rasa Acharya, or one who knows the essence of devotional service. His famous book, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, is the science of devotional service. And by reading this book, one can understand the meaning of devotional service.
Yes, so the purpose of this book is to establish the process of devotional service. Sachidananda Prabhu, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. In the Gonodesha Deepika 180, Sri Rupa Goswami is described to be the gopi named Sri Rupa Manjari. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the most celebrated book by Sri Rupa Goswami.
So if you remember, we have discussed this in Nectar of Instruction also, that how gopis are always assisted by manjaris. And manjaris are young girls, 6, 7, 8 years old. Gopis are 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. And these manjaris are always assisting gopis. So different gopis have different manjaris as their assistants. So Srimati Radharani has a special assistant, Rupa Manjari. And this Rupa Manjari came to this world as Srila Rupa Goswami. And he gave us these secrets of Krishna Bhakti. And we discussed this verse also, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale, in detail, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his mood was absorbed by Srila Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami was therefore very, very special, and we are considered as Rupanugas. Prabhupada therefore told in Nectar of Instruction that Krishna consciousness movement is running under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Now let us see the purpose of this book. Chetan Prabhu, please read.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu. We have failed to create peace and harmony in human society, even by such great attempts as the United Nations, because we do not know the right method. The method is very simple, but one has to understand it with a cool head. The Nectar of Devotion teaches all men how to perform the simple and natural method of loving Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we learn how to love Krishna, then it is very easy to immediately and simultaneously love every living being.
So this nobody can deny that although technologically we have advanced, although in so many fields we have done so many research, but still something is missing. Prabhupada call it pinprick. Like suppose you are sitting in a nice couch, but a pin is pricking you. You can't enjoy it. That pin will not allow you to sit peacefully. In the same way, something is hurting the world, something is missing in the world. And that is natural loving devotional service to Krishna. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu aims to fulfill that need. So if we practice this book nicely, we can enrich our life with pure devotional service to Krishna. And that is the missing point in human civilization. So purpose of this book is to help us developing that loving devotional service to Krishna. Okay, Sarshti Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I am appealing herewith to such confused men to learn the art of devotional service as directed in the Nectar of Devotion, and I am sure that the fire of material existence burning within their hearts will be immediately extinguished.
So anyone who is feeling that need, that I need direction in my life, I need devotional service in my life, and enough, I don't want to suffer more in my life, this is the book which can help us to come out of the burning material existence and establish ourselves in devotional service to Krishna. Now, let us understand this term, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This title, what is the meaning of this title? So first word is Bhakti. Of course, we know what is bhakti. Bhakti means devotional service. Second is rasa. Rasa means mellow. Rasa means juice, nectar. Not actually nectar, but mellow. And we will see the definition of rasa also. But rasa means something which drives you to do some activity. Like why you drink some apple juice or orange juice or coconut water. Why you drink it? Because you have some taste in it. So rasa means that taste, that mellow. Amrita, and this mellow is eternal. You drink coconut water, you can finish it in just 20 seconds. It's gone. But imagine you are tasting your favorite food all the time without having any blood pressure, diabetes, or gain of weight, just the taste part, not the after effects. That is Rasamrita. Rasamrita means eternally you relish the mellow, eternally you relish the juice, and not just drop of it. Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. On every step, devotee receives the Sindhu, ocean of eternal nectar of devotion. So this is nectar of devotion. The eternal juice, eternal mellow, ocean of eternal mellow of devotion. Now somebody may say, where is the ocean? Prabhupada missed the ocean part in the title. He just wrote nectar of devotion. So Prabhupada clarifies that also. Please read. Okay, sorry. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Anupama Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna. That Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the Sanskrit word, we have shortcut the translation, nectar of devotion. Rupa Goswami's purpose is to present the ocean of Bhakti Ras. Ras means mellow, the juice. It is just like ocean. This ocean has limitations, but that is unlimited.
Prabhupada is saying we have done shortcut translation, nectar of devotion. But actually, what Rupa Goswami gave is unlimited ocean. The ocean which we see in material world is limited. It has its boundaries. But this particular ocean of nectar of devotion is unlimited, unending, eternal, mellow of service to Krishna. Deva Dev Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compared bhakti to a great ocean. When he was speaking before Rupa Goswami, he said that it is just like an ocean. So I'll take a drop of it and you taste it and you'll understand what is this ocean. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described a small portion of Bhakti Rasa, Amrit Sindhu. Bhakti, devotional service, there is rasa, taste, and the taste is Amrit, eternal.
So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was instructing Rupa Goswami, this is recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, that actually bhakti is like ocean, but I am just giving you a drop of it. But when you taste that drop, you can imagine what that ocean is like. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just gave a little taste to Rupa Goswami, and he's presenting the same. So this book will give us an idea what it is like, the ocean of devotional service. So it's not that Rupa Goswami is claiming that everything is in this book. Nothing like that. The experience of devotional service is oceanic, but at least we'll have some idea of it. Later on, Jiva Goswami wrote another book. He wrote another book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. He added one more word, Bindu. What is that? Yes, Rupa Goswami gave us access to ocean of nectar of devotional service, but we can only take a drop of it. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. Bindu means a drop. So we are like that. We may catch little drop of what teachings these acharyas are giving. Now let us understand the meaning of rasa. Very practical definition Srila Prabhupada gives. Prabhupada tells every service has some attractive feature which drives the servitor progressively on and on. That is called rasa. Like we have seen many times, Srila Prabhupada would quote this. Whenever some lady comes to hospital for delivering a child, she cries in pain. And Prabhupada tells in his lecture, every time the lady tells, now no more baby, this is last baby. But after 1 or 2 years, she will be seen again with another baby. Why? Because there's some rasa. In anything we do, we eat food. Whenever we see that, our weight is increasing or our cholesterol is increasing or some disease increasing, we say, no more this, I will not eat ice cream in my whole life. Then next day we are ending up eating ice cream. Because there is some rasa in every activity, everything. Otherwise, you can't continue that activity. That is the force which drives practically everyone. Prabhupada is writing a philanthropist. Why they are helping people? Why they are doing this all charity work? Because there is some sense of rasa. There is some sense of attractive feature. Either helping people, that is a rasa, or the glorification they get, name and fame they get, the respect they get, the sense of feeling that they are helping somebody, that may be driving force. A householder, as I discussed, there's so many problems. In India, we say, grihast hai, trast hai, fir bhi mast hai. Problems, but still they are carrying on. What? There should be some rasa. Otherwise, why they are carrying on? Then nationalist people are fighting, they're dying on the borders of different nations. There should be some rasa, otherwise, why they are continuing? So, in any service, this mellow, this feeling of a relationship, this drives it. This drives the servitor to practice it, to carry on that activity again and again. But this rasa is of two types. One is mundane rasa and one is spiritual rasa. Mundane rasa means material rasa. It's very difficult to translate this word rasa in English. The Prabhupada gave a definition here. Every service has some attractive feature which drives servitor progressively on and on. We can tell rasa as taste or we can tell rasa as mellow. But rasa is rasa. It's difficult to translate it in English. So like material rasa is that feeling which drives us to do material activities. That is material rasa. But problem with material rasa is chapal sukh. Chapal sukha means, yeah, my voice is okay? Chapal means flickery. Chapal means temporary. Chapal means momentary. So rasa in material world gives only little temporary happiness. Like those who know how to make sweets, it takes long time to make sweets. Like suppose you are making gulab jamun, it may take 3-4 hours. Not the instant mix, you just mix it and make. If you properly make from scratch, it takes time. But then eating, it will take only 2 seconds. As long as it's on the tongue, it will give pleasure. That's all. Then no more pleasure. So material world, the problem with rasa is the mundane rasa, it's very, very flickery, temporary. Therefore, in material world, we try new things, which is technically called as bhoga tyag. Bhoga tyag means what? Bhoga means we try to enjoy something. Okay, let's try dal puri. Then eating dal puri, how many days you can eat? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 1 month, 2 months. How long? Then say, no, we want some change. No more dal puri. That is tyag. Bhog and tyag. This is material world. So problem with mundane rasa is it gives such little flickery happiness that we jump to new things. Bhoga, tyag. Today we want some object. Tomorrow we will be bored by it. And then we need another object. That means nothing in this material world can give us eternal rasa. Only spiritual rasa, only bhakti can give us eternal rasa. So if we don't want to entangle in chapal sukha and bhoga tyag, what we have to do? We have to look for bhakti rasa. Bhakti rasa means rasa, mellow in serving Krishna. We don't change Krishna. We don't say that, okay, too much of Hare Krishna. Today I will chant Om Namah Shivaya. No. Whole life you will chant Hare Krishna, you'll never get bored. It's not that, oh, I'm chanting this Mangala Arati since 20 years. Now let's change this Mangala Arati. No. Same Sansar Davanal Arti. Wherever we go in temples, we see Radha Krishna deities. Wherever we go, we see Srila Prabhupada deity. We see same Hare Krishna Mahamantra, same Tilak, same Dhoti Kurta. So spiritual rasa, bhakti rasa is Amrita. Amrita means eternal. You don't need to change. You will never get bored. It's eternally, it will nourish. Eternally, it will give pleasure to the soul. Therefore, bhakti rasa is eternal. Amrita. Amrita means eternal. Shrutidhar Prabhu, can you read? We can't hear you. Okay, you can adjust. In the meantime, Usha Mataji, can you read? I can't hear you also. Just 1 minute. Maybe I have some problem. Just 1 minute. Can you try now?
Yes, Bhakti Ras, however, the mellow relished in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, does not finish with the end of life. It continues perpetually and is therefore called Amrita, that which does not die but exists eternally.
Rasa doesn't flicker, doesn't end momentarily. Bhakti Rasa is Amrita, eternal. Not just in this life, but even after this life, this Bhakti Rasa continues, life after life. Therefore, this is called Bhakti Rasa Amrita. Moksharupi Prabhu, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, pranams. Any action performed for the satisfaction of Krishna in this transcendental Bhakti Rasa stage of life can be relished perpetually. When one is thus engaged in devotional service, all varieties of rasas or mellows turn into eternity.
So this reciprocation with Krishna, this exchange of love, this exchange of mellow, this can be relished by devotee eternally. Now, being practitioner, he will relish. After perfection, he will relish. In material world, he will relish. After going back to Godhead, he will relish. So that is the beauty of devotional service. Yeah. Saurabh Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna. So, when it means that it is present eternally, that means once we take a different body, then also we can relish it. But what we see that some people get they get bhakti after a certain age, after say 30, some get at 40, some get at 50. So before that, it was subdued. That taste was subdued, and after that certain age, it gets that shows the taste comes. So how can we relate to that?
See, we can understand that in two ways. One is, see, when somebody has not completed his advancement in Krishna consciousness, there has to be some reason. Maybe because of some offense, maybe because of some aparadh to the deities, to the devotees, to holy name, to holy place. We'll study this in Nectar of Devotion. So due to that, temporarily, we have, our advancement is blocked. So it's like a, temporary punishment. Like sometimes children are told by mother, oh, you are so, you are making so much noise, I'll not give you food. But how long mother will not give food? After half an hour, mother will give food. So in the same way, Krishna may punish his devotees. Okay, for next life, 30 years, you have to live like a karmi and then you will get devotional service. That may be a punishment for mistake, but that is nothing in front of eternity. The amount of bliss which devotee is going to get eternally, 20, 30 years, 40 years is nothing. Because we are seeing one life, it may look like, oh, I have practiced Krishna consciousness. Next life, if I get in 25 years, I'm not going to relish this nectar. But that is just little punishment, token punishment to rectify our offensive mentality. Okay.
So, which means, Prabhuji, that once a soul gets a taste, it remains the same, or it advances over the period of the lifetimes.
It will never decrease.
It will never decrease.
Yes.
But when the soul which has come from the when it is fall down from the spiritual sphere to this material planet, then obviously in the spiritual sphere they must have that taste. But now here when they fall down, so everybody doesn't have that same taste or doesn't have that
All have, it's just covered. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Saddha Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karoi Udai. It's there, but it's covered. So what bhakti does, the practice of bhakti does, it reveals it awakens that dormant love, dormant taste for serving Krishna. So we all have that. To the degree we advance, it reawakens.
That reawakening is never gets decreased with the time.
Yes. So suppose in this life you become a sannyasi and then you couldn't complete it. Next life you'll start from that level. It's not that you have to again start from something like Bharat Maharaj. He reached to the level of bhav and then he ended up becoming a deer. But still, when he restarted his devotional service in third life, being Jada Bharat, it's not that he has to again start with Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. No. He started from bhav towards prem. So that's how Krishna saves the amount of advancement. Amarnitai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Jagannath. But as you said that the taste never goes down. But many times we see in congregation or sometimes with us also it happens that the taste for doing the devotional service and all these things goes down. And sometimes we have seen initially some devotees have full taste and after some time they are just disappeared from the services and all congregation.
Rasa, therefore I was saying it's difficult to translate in English. It's not taste. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur distinguished this. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells, in beginning days, the taste which we feel as rasa is actually not taste. It's anartha nivritti. One stage of anartha nivritti is ghana tarala. Ghana tarala. Ghana means, we say na ghana. Ghana means dense. And taral means loose. Sometimes you become very, very fixed, very, very pakka. I will read, I will chant, will get up at 3 o'clock. That day you may be reading for 2 hours, chanting 64 rounds, everything. Next day, your Japamala is looking at you. Prabhu, pick me up, pick me up. This is anartha nivritti. This is ghana tarala. But when devotee crosses this stage, anartha nivritti, then it eventually goes to Nishtha, and after Nishtha he gets Ruchi. That Ruchi is Rasa. So it will be long way to go. Now we get like sample Rasa, like some, these medical representatives, they come and they give some sample medicines. But then if you want more, you have to pay for it. So the same way, Krishna may give some sample rasa now, but actually that is not the permanent rasa. It comes much later in the advancement of devotional service. Okay. So, yes, understanding the term Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So I hope we discussed the term in Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. So rasa means the force which drives us to do any activity. Amrita means this rasa is not mundane. This rasa is eternal, which will give us eternal connection with Krishna. And bhakti is that rasa amrita. And it's not a token amrita, but it's a sindhu. It's the ocean of nectar. So this is the meaning of the term Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Now, as Sri Rupa Goswami has compared this Bhakti Rasamrita with ocean, Sindhu means ocean. Now this book is also divided in 4 parts, as if you are dividing ocean. Let us understand this. Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to a tree, and the different limbs, the different parts of the tree is called skanda. Skanda means branches. We say Pratham Skanda, Drutiya Skanda, Tritiya Skanda. We say first canto, second canto, third canto, fourth canto. Actually, it is first skanda, second skanda, third skanda. So that way, actually, this is the division of a tree. But Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, this book is being compared with an ocean. Now, how you divide an ocean? It's very difficult to divide an ocean, right? In tree, you can count, okay, first branch, second branch, third branch, fourth branch. But how you divide the ocean? Only way you can divide ocean is, okay, east, west, north, south. That's the only way you can divide ocean. If you are standing somewhere in the middle of ocean, you can only tell east side of the ocean, west side of the ocean, south of the ocean, north of the ocean. So Rupa Goswami did same. He divided this scripture, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, into 4 parts: east, south, west, and north, which are called technically as Purva Vibhag. Purva means east. Dakshin Vibhag, Dakshin means south. Paschim Vibhag means west. And Uttar Vibhag means north. So this is also given in your student handbook. These 4 divisions of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. So what we study in Bhakti Sastri is only one part of the book, Purva Vibhag, East division. That is Bhagavad Bhakti Bhed, means varieties of devotional service. We only study elementary parts of devotional service. That means first 19 chapters of Nectar of Devotion. The whole book is not the part of syllabus. Only first 19 chapters of this book is the part of the syllabus. Then second is Dakshin Vibhag, which is Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Rasa, which means general symptoms of transcendental mellow. What are the symptoms of mellow? We are not going to study that. Then the third is Paschim Vibhag, which is Western division, which deals with 5 primary rasas. The Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, all those 5 rasas. And then last part is indirect loving service, which deals with 7 indirect rasas. So we will just study names of these rasas, but we're not going in details. We are only focusing on first 19 chapters, which is the standard syllabus for all Bhakti Shastris all over the world. They only study only 19 chapters of this book. So we'll only focus on that, which deals with primary divisions of devotional service, principles of devotional service. So now, understanding that part, Okay, before that, quotation of Srila Prabhupada. Keshav Priya Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In the first part, there are 4 waves. The first being a general description of devotional service. The second concerns the regulative principles for executing devotional service. And the third wave, devotional service in ecstasy. In the fourth is the ultimate goal, love of God.
So these are the 4 divisions. We will only study first, which is general description of devotional service. Let us see the contents of that part. So now what you are seeing on screen is only that part which we are going to study, which is Purva Vibhag, eastern side of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So if you see contents of the book, you can see 19 chapters, and that 19 chapters are dealing with varieties of devotional service. First chapter is dealing with Samanya Bhakti. Samanya Bhakti means general definition of devotional service. What is general definition of devotional service? Is common for all. Whoever is practicing devotional service, this general definition, chapter 1. Then chapter 2 to 16 deals with Sadhan Bhakti. Now this term, we had some introduction in Nectar of Instruction also, but we'll study in detail in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu what is Sadhan Bhakti. Sadhan Bhakti means devotional service practiced as per the rules and regulations. So there are many rules and regulations, especially 64 rules and regulations, 64 limbs of devotional service, which we are going to study. Then there is Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti means when this Sadhan Bhakti becomes mature, devotee practices devotional service on the level of emotions and feelings. So that we'll study on 17th and 18th chapter. And then the last is Prema Bhakti. When devotee comes to the level of love of God, what happens? That we'll study in 19th chapter. So this is the outline of what we are going to study. The objective of this book is enhancing our devotional service to Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami starts his book with Mangalacharan, as any author, any speaker starts his presentation with Mangalacharan. So he offers his obeisances to Krishna, who is Akhil Rasamrita Murti, who is the source of all rasa. And he also offers obeisances to Sanatan Goswami, who is the elder brother of Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami takes permission of all his gurus, all Vaishnavas, all devotees, and then he starts this book aiming towards Krishna, who is the primary object of this book. Sudevi Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the reservoir of all rasas or relationships.
So therefore, Krishna's one name is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. You can note this name, Akhil Rasamrita Murti. Akhil means complete. Rasamrita, you already understand. Rasamrita means eternal rasa, spiritual rasa. And Murti means embodiment. So the complete whole of Rasamrita, eternal rasa, is found in Krishna. So objective of this book is Krishna. And not only ordinary Krishna, but Vrindavan Krishna. Because Krishna displays this Akhil Rasamrita Murti in Vrindavan. Like in Dwarka or Mathura, there is Krishna, but there is not that sweetness of rasas. Nobody climbs on the shoulders of Krishna in Mathura or Dwarka. He is prince there. But in Vrindavan, Madhumangal, Sridhama, Sudama, they make Krishna bend down and they climb on his shoulders. Nobody chastised Krishna in Dwarka or Mathura. But Mother Yashoda chastised Krishna in Vrindavan. There is no parakiya ras, there is no conjugal love out of marriage in Mathura or Dwarka. But in Vrindavan, Krishna relishes that rasa too. Madhuri rasa, parakiya madhuri rasa. So all these complete embodiment of rasas are found in Krishna of Vrindavan. So objective of this book is to surrender ourselves, reestablish our connection with Krishna of Vrindavan. Amar Nitai Prabhu, can you read?
So we can enjoy Krishna's loving service in so many ways, not only by the embrace of gopis, but in the fight of Bhishma with Krishna and piercing his body with arrows. Therefore, Krishna is Akhil Rasamrit.
So it's not that Krishna is limited to only conjugal, only parental. I remember there was one question asked during our Bhagavad Gita studies. I think Saurabh Prabhu asked that question, that, about the rasas, and the discussion was like, even grass in the spiritual world is satisfied. So different devotees, they have different dealings with Krishna. Some like to fight with Krishna in Virya Rasa, like Bhishma wanted to fight, like Jai Vijay wanted to fight. Some are in parental rasa, so they take care of Krishna. Mother Yashoda feels, if I don't feed Krishna, Krishna will die. So that is her feeling. Then some are friends with Krishna, some are lovers of Krishna. Cows are in Shantaras. We have studied in Nectar of Instruction these different rasas. So everybody has opportunity to reciprocate with Krishna as per his rasa. Now these rasas are categorized in 12 categories. There are 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. And Krishna is capable to reciprocate with all these rasas. Therefore he is called Akhil Rasamrita Sindhu. See, there are so many incarnations of Krishna, like Lord Ramchandra, like Nrsingadev. Now, can you expect friendship with Lord Nrsingadev? Or maybe Vatsalya Rasa with Lord Nrsingadev? It's difficult, right? Lord Ramchandra, who is committed to one wife, can he enjoy Ras Leela with like thousands of gopis? So there are different moods of different incarnations. Not like they are less or more. It's same, because Bhakti, this Brahma Samhita tells, like you light one lamp with other lamp, there is no difference between both the lamps. But still, in terms of reciprocation with his devotees, Krishna is Akhil Rasamrita Sindhu, because he reciprocates with each rasa. And this is the list of rasas. The last 5 are, actually they are mixed. So these are 12 varieties of rasas. 7 are temporary. Temporary in terms of sometimes they come to devotees, but not the general mood. Like first is anger. Now Radharani becomes angry from Krishna, but it's not like always she is angry. Sometimes she is angry. Adbhuta means wonder. Shringar means conjugal love. Hasya means comedy. Veera means, Veerras means fighting. Daya means mercy. Dasya means servitorship. Sakya means fraternity. Bhayankar means horror. Sometimes you're terrified. Krishna will leave me. Bhayanak, sorry, not Bhayankar, Bhayanak. Bhibhatsa means shock. Shantaras, neutrality. Vatsalya, parenthood. So we'll discuss these rasas in the coming days. Each rasa we'll discuss them. But you can take a screenshot or some, you can write also. You should remember this. Not just from exam point of view, but as a devotee, we should know these 12 rasas, at least their names and their translations, so that we understand that how devotees deal with Krishna and Krishna reciprocate with each rasa. Now, as per the contents of the first chapter, we will discuss the definition of bhakti. We're talking about bhakti, 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 but what is the definition of bhakti? Rupa Goswami has given the perfect definition of bhakti. So we'll go into it. Yeah, before that, Vishnu Priya Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhu Hare Krishna. I was just writing down those rasa I have come to eat. Can I just wrote it, please?
Just 1 minute.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Maybe you can take a screenshot. That will be quicker. Let's take blessings of modern technology. And those who can remember both Sanskrit and English, that's best. If you cannot remember, at least remember English terms of all these 12 rasas. Interesting thing is, when Prabhupada told his disciples, even if you read one page of my book, he never meant only Sanskrit. You can read even English part of it and you can get delivered. So it's not about language, but we should understand the tattva, the philosophy. Okay, Vishnu Priya Mataji? It's okay? So we'll go to the definition of bhakti as per Rupa Goswami, and we expect that at least this verse we should remember. This is a very common verse. Although Prabhupada didn't quote this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but he quoted this verse hundreds of times in his books, in his lectures. So this verse is very, very important. Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadhyanavritam Anukulenu Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktiruttama. So you will not find this verse in your book, but you can find this verse in your student handbook. So this verse is very important as the definition of Uttama Bhakti. See, there is one general definition of Bhakti. That is, Sarvopadhir Vinirmuktam Tat Paratven Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. This is general definition of Bhakti. Sarvopadir Vinirmuktam, give up all your external designations. Tat Paratvena Nirmalam, you'll become purified of all material contamination. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam, serve with your senses the master of the senses, Krishna. Bhakti Ruchyate, this is Bhakti. So this is Samanya Bhakti, the definition of, general definition of Bhakti. But there is Uttama Bhakti. Uttama Bhakti means pure Bhakti. What is pure Bhakti? This is described in this verse. Anya Bilashita Shunyam. There should not be desire other than serving Krishna. Anya Abhilasha means desire. Abhilashita means traces of desires. So we should have desires. It's not that we should not have desire, but we should not have Anya Bilashita, means desires other than serving Krishna. Shunyam means zero. No more material desires. Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. It should be free from Jnana and Karma. We discussed this in detail in Bhagavad Gita. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda. Karma means fruitive mentality. That I am doing this action for some benefit. Jnana means to renounce this world. I don't want this world. I want to be free from this world. Both tendencies are not favorable to devotional service. So we give it up. Anukulenu Krishnanu. Anukulenu Krishna. What is favorable to Krishna? What will please Krishna? Anukul means favorable. So what will please Krishna? Anushilanam. We practice that. We cultivate that. Anu means following somebody. We don't do it whimsically. Anushilanam means following the previous acharyas, following Guru, following scriptures. Bhakti Ruttama, that is best, pure devotional service. So let's read the translation. Who will read? Okay. Devadev Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. When first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy, and fruitive actions. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires.
So this is the definition of first-class devotional service. One must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy, that means jnana, and fruitive action means karma. These three things we should give up. And devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. This is pure devotional service. Now this verse has two parts. Let us understand these two parts. First is Swarup Lakshan, second is Tatastha Lakshan. If you remember, I discussed this before also. One is constitutional duty and one is conditional duty. When we are in material world, we are having some marginal characteristics. Marginal means our practice of devotional service within material realm is Tatastha Lakshan. But then there is Swarup Lakshan, means essential characteristics. That means the constitutional duty of soul to Krishna. So both are important. On our practicing stage, we need Tatastha Lakshan and Swarup Lakshan both. But somebody who is above material realm, he is in pure service to Krishna, he may not be worried about marginal characteristics. Let us see what they are. Then it will become more clear. Swarup Lakshan means Anukulenu Krishnanushilanam, means serving Krishna favorably. That is the pure purpose of doing bhakti. It should be pleasing to Krishna. Kansa was remembering Krishna day and night, but not anukulenu, not favorably. He wanted to harm Krishna. Therefore, it is not bhakti. You understand the difference? Kansa was remembering Krishna all day and night, but he was planning how to kill Krishna. It was not favorable to Krishna. Therefore, it is not counted in Uttama Bhakti. Anukulenu, Krishna Anushilanam. We'll see these words one by one. What is the meaning of each word? And Tatastha Lakshan means Annabhilashita Shunyam, giving up all other desires. Gyan Karma Adi Anavritam, giving up karma and jnana. Do you think Mother Yashoda is worried about Gyan, Karma or Annabhilashita? Do you think Nanda Maharaj is worried about these things? They are much above this level. So Tatastha level is for starters. We are starting in devotional service. We need to give up all our impure desires. We need to give up tendencies for karma and jnana. And Swarup Lakshan means it goes one step higher. Then it's service in constitutional level. So let's see one by one. Anukulenu means favorable. It should be pleasing to Krishna. It should be performed with intention to please Krishna. This word intention to please Krishna is very important. See, sometimes it may look that Krishna is displeased, but still the intention was to please Krishna. For example, you all must have heard Damodar Leela many, many times. Krishna was in the on the lap of Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda was feeding Krishna milk. You know this pastime. In the meantime, the milk which Mother Yashoda kept on stove, it was boiling. And it was coming out of the vessel. So Mother Yashoda kept Krishna down to attend to that boiling milk. And that made Krishna very angry. Now, apparently, externally, it may look like, see, Mother Yashoda displeased Krishna. But no, her intention was that this milk on the stove is for Krishna. And if it gets wasted, it will be disservice to Krishna. So let me handle that milk for Krishna's pleasure. That means Krishna Anukulen. Performed with intention to please Krishna. And Krishna loves that intention. And is it not so hope-giving that even though our practice, even though our service may have faults, but if intention is to please Krishna, Krishna will accept it as Uttama Bhakti, as pure Bhakti. Our intention should be to please him. Like suppose you are worshipping deity in the temple, you are on the altar, you are worshipping deities. And while you worshipping deities, we turn at the back to offer arti to devotees at the end. You see one of the curtains in temple room caught fire. And there is nobody in the temple room. What you are supposed to do? You should continue doing arti, or you should go out and extinguish the fire on the curtain. What we should do? Is there any doubt what we should do?
You have to extinguish the fire, Prabhuji.
Yes. All the scriptures tell that you should not leave arti in between. But that will not be anukulenu. It will not be favorable to Krishna. I am doing arti to Krishna and the whole temple is getting fire. That is not favorable to Krishna. So with intention to please Krishna, whatever is favorable to Krishna, we should do that. That is Uttama Bhakti. So that is the first aspect. Then second is Krishna. It's clear we should do for Krishna, but not just Krishna. It includes his expansions and his devotees. Because you remember the definition of Kanishta Adhikari from Nectar of Instruction. Kanishta Adhikari thinks only I am the devotee, only Krishna and me. No, that is not bhakti. Krishna, wherever we see word Krishna, means Krishna, his expansions, his associates, his devotees, his paraphernalia. Suppose you came to temple and you see Krishna's flute lying on the floor. What you will do? He is not Krishna, it's flute. Let me just kick it out. Will we do that? No, it's tadiya of Krishna. So paraphernalia of Krishna also, we serve in the same mode. Devotees of Krishna, we serve with the same mode. All expansions of Krishna, we serve with the same mode. Anything related to Krishna, we serve with the same mode of pleasing them. That is also an important point which Srila Prabhupada puts there. That Krishna includes all expansions as well as his pure devotees. Now let us understand Anushilanam. Anu means following. Anugami. Raganuga also when we discuss this point. Anu means follower. Anu also means constantly. Both definitions are important. In first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we study this. Ahetuki apratihata. Ahetuki apratihata. Apratihata means without any hindrance. Bhakti should be practiced perpetually. Every day. Nityam. It's not that today I am feeling like practicing, tomorrow I am not feeling like practicing. No. It should be done constantly and under guidance, following, being a follower of scriptures, being followers of parampara. We discussed this in Ishopnishad that Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrikam Vidhim Vina Eikantika Hari Bhaktir Utpadeva Kalpate. If you're not following scriptures, Shruti Smriti Puranadi, then your bhakti will only create disturbance. Utpat. Utpat means, those who know Hindi, they know Utpat. Utpat means little rights. Utpat means hindrance, disturbance in the society. So if we are not a follower, our bhakti will only create disturbance to us, disturbance to others. So Anu means following. And Shilanam means behavior. It should reflect in our behavior. It should reflect in our dealings. No, I am very good devotee, but I beat sometimes some people. I am very good devotee, but I use bad words. I'm very good devotee, but I never follow the laws of the country. I'm a criminal. No. It should reflect in our behavior. It should reflect in our practice. It should reflect in our lifestyle. Therefore, many of the things which we are going to study in this book, Nectar of Devotion, they are directly dealing with our lifestyle. How to live, how to behave. Anushilanam. That makes bhakti uttama. Amal Arjun Prabhu, can you read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Anushilanam, the particular word used by Srila Rupa Goswami in this connection is Anushilana, or cultivation by following the predecessor acharyas. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Without activity, consciousness alone cannot help us.
So this word cultivation is coming again. We studied this in Nectar of Instruction also. This cultivation means we have to do some practical activity. It's not that imagining, one day I'll become a devotee. No, we have to do something about it. So it's like proper following the instructions of previous acharyas. That is Anushilanam. Okay, Sudevi Mataji, can you read this?
Yes, Prabhuji. Anushilanam. The word anu suggests that one should engage himself in the service of the Lord without any interval. He must be engaged in the service 100% and always. There must not be any interruption in such progress of devotional service.
Now we may say, no, it's not happening with us. So we should also agree that we are not doing pure devotional service. We are doing mixed devotional service now. But this is the goal. We have to understand this we are discussing because this is our goal. It may not be happening today, but this is our goal. That we practice, we serve Krishna without any interval, 100% all the time. This is our goal of devotional service. It may happen in this life, in next life, maybe in millions of lives. But we should understand our goal, that this is pure devotional service. Bharat Krishna Prabhu, can you read? Unmute.
So Anukulyena Krishnanu Silanam Bhaktir Uttamam. The definition of a pure devotee, as given by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, can be summarized thus. His service is favorable and is always in relation to Krishna.
So this is like the top level of Swarup Lakshan, where Anukulenu means Krishna should get pleasure. Devotee's attitude is, his intention is that Krishna should be pleased. Krishna means Krishna, his expansion, his paraphernalia, his devotees. That is also clear. And Anushilanam means cultivation. It means constant activity as per the instructions of previous acharyas. And that's how we serve Krishna. Now coming to Tatastha Lakshan. This is something more relevant to our context, where we are starting to practice Krishna consciousness. Anya Vilashita Shunyam. Anya means other. Abhilash is desire. We sing every day. Morai Abhilash, Vilas Kunje Diyovas. Abhilash means desire. Shunya, zero. Abhilashita means desires or traces of desires. Like sometimes it's difficult to even detect what we want. We don't know. It comes either in difficulties, we understand our level of consciousness, or when we become too successful, that time we understand level of our consciousness, when we become proud and we become arrogant and things. But Anya Vilashita means no desire other than serving Krishna. That should be desire. And we discussed this. If Krishna wants me to serve living in a palace, I am happy to do that. If Krishna wants me to live under a tree and serving, I am happy to do that. Today, everybody is respecting me and I am serving Krishna. That's how he wants. Okay. Tomorrow, whole world spit at me. That's how Krishna wants me to serve him. That is also okay. That is pure devotional service. Not very easy. It's very difficult. But Anna Bilashita Shunya means no other desire. A pure devotee will never even ask Krishna that Krishna, this is my problem. He will never even tell his problem to Krishna. That is pure devotee. That I just want to serve you no matter how you deal with me. Second part of Tatastha Lakshan is Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. That is, Jnana means impersonal philosophy. Karma means fruitive activity. We discussed this in detail in Bhagavad Gita. And then Rupa Goswami tells Adi. Adi means whatever else you can think. Yoga, you can think mystic yoga, Ashtanga yoga, you can say Dhyan yoga, worshipping demigods, whatever you can think. Everything included, Anavritam, give it up. Just leave all those other processes if you want to practice pure devotional service. So Madhavendra Puri, he recites very beautiful prayer that I offer my obeisances to all these ritualistic processes. I offer obeisances to all these great holy places. I offer my respects to all these jnanis, karmis, yogis, big sacrifices, renunciates, vratas, tapas. My humble obeisances to you, but forgive me, I am not going to follow anything out of it. I am more fascinated by Mother Yashoda, in whose court Supreme Personality of Godhead is dancing like a ordinary boy. So that is pure devotional service. They are not worried about any jnana, karma, yoga, tapa, vrata. Actually, this is another anartha. Even after becoming devotees, we are very attached to these things. Like when we chant every day, how serious we are. But when there is a yajna, oh, let me take bath. Let me wear nice clothes. Oh, this is how I have to put this thing in the yajna kunda. Let me chant swaha properly. Even as devotees, we are so attached to these things. But actually, Rupa Goswami is saying all these things are okay. If they are favorable to Krishna consciousness, you use them. Not favorable, don't use them. But pure devotional service is not dependent on jnana, karma, yoga, tapa, archana, anything. It's just about serving Krishna. So if Krishna wants you to serve in particular way, don't be attached. Just like Arjun. Krishna wants him to fight. Now fighting became his devotional service. For Srila Prabhupada, his guru told, go to West and preach. Now going to West was more important for Prabhupada than living in Vrindavan. So that is pure devotional service. Let's read Brajasevika Mataji. Can you read this quote?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Anavritam, uncovered by mental speculation or fruitive activities, karmakand. Jnana karmadi anavritam, not covered. If you mix up karma with bhakti, if you mix up jnana with bhakti, or if you mix up yoga, it is contaminated. It is not pure. Pure devotional service is given by Rupa Goswami, Anya Bila Sita Shunyam, no desire for fruitive activities, or philosophical speculation, or yogic, mystic yogic magic. No. Simply how to satisfy Krishna. That is bhakti. Anukulyena means what is favorable, what Krishna desires. That is first class bhakti.
So that is first class bhakti. Like, there is water. Now there is tamarind water, there is sweet water, there is salty water, but there is pure water. Pure water means nothing other than water. That is Kevala Bhakti, pure Bhakti, where there is no traces of karma, jnana, yoga, nothing. Only Krishna, I want to serve you, that's it. That is pure Bhakti. Venudhari Prabhu, can you read this quote?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Actually, Krishna consciousness can be based simply on hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. Described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, all 9 different processes, besides which everything done in is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Thus, one should always be guarding against fall downs.
So the natural question is, then what we are supposed to do? Prabhupada is saying 9 processes of devotional service. Shravan, Kirtan, Smarana, Bandhan, these 9 processes, that's it. Anything other than that is just adulteration. Pratima Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It is only for our guidance that Srila Rupa Goswami prepared his book Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, which is now presented in the form of the Nectar of Devotion. Persons engaged in the Krishna consciousness movement may take advantage of this great literature and be very solidly situated in Krishna consciousness.
So when Srila Prabhupada came, as I discussed before, when Srila Prabhupada came to Vrindavan with his disciples, I think it was 1971 or 2, for 1 month he lectured on Nectar of Devotion in the temple of Radha Damodar by the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami. So if you want, you can hear those lectures. They are available online. You just need to type Srila Prabhupada Nectar of Devotional Lectures. Or if somebody can share link on the group, it will be nice. Devotees can hear those lectures. Prabhupada is explaining each term in detail. And this book will be really a very helpful tool for us to advance in Krishna consciousness. Yes, Saurabh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhuji, when we say that we want to serve only God in whatsoever condition He puts us in,
yes.
This time, what does it mean? So first of all, obviously, we want to serve God. Okay, so when we want to serve God, that means we want to surrender His instructions. We want to follow His instructions. That is one. But apart from that, there are 9 devotional processes. That is also one of the parts. So we should be engaged in doing all the 9 steps or 9 processes of. So does that mean that serve or whatever he has written in scripture we should follow?
He is telling Anukulenu Krishnanu Shilanam. I'll repeat that again. We have to do what is favorable to Krishna. But how we understand that? Anushilanam, following acharyas. So you have to follow authority in Krishna consciousness. The devotees who are guiding us, they will tell us that Prabhu, you need to do this. You need to do this. And if we follow that structure of parampara, then we should be rest assured that we are serving Krishna. So that's how we serve Krishna. We understand what is expected out of us. Now for different devotees, different expectations may be there. Like Srila Prabhupada was instructed by his guru, go to West. But it's not that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati told everybody to go to West. So different devotees may have different understandings and they are guided by their gurus differently. Okay? Vishnu Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Actually, the question is, when we do services, when we engage in our different service regular basis, personally, I tend to make sure I remember Srila Prabhupada more, because we think that we're too lower to think that we can connect to Krishna, we are close to Krishna. So we tend to just remember Srila Prabhupada and just be grateful for what he did for us and just do our services regularly. For me, I take it like this. Is it good to remain like this and we will improve in the future, or we should constantly focusing on coming close to Krishna and just thinking services to Krishna? That's a little bit confusing.
There is no difference. Connecting to Srila Prabhupada, connecting to Krishna, there is no difference. It's same. Because we studied this, Krishna means Krishna is expansion, is paraphernalia, is pure devotees. All are same. Suppose somebody is serving pure devotee, remembering pure devotee at the time of death, it is as good as remembering Krishna. If you are serving a holy place, remembering holy place, dying with that consciousness of serving holy place, that's as good as serving Krishna. So there is no difference between Krishna, his expansions, his paraphernalia, his devotees. So there is no difference. It's perfection actually. If you are remembering Srila Prabhupada by serving, this is perfect. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai. Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. So I request devotees to kindly read introduction and chapter 1. So tomorrow we are going into the details of introduction, and we will see the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. So today we saw definition of pure devotional service. Tomorrow we will see 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna.
So this will continue next week also. No? It won't get over tomorrow.
Tomorrow, no. Tomorrow is second class. You're not that lucky. You have to hear one more week. So next week there will be classes, and then probably we'll finish. Okay.